Hello guys, welcome to the new video. And today we'll discuss some networking and security questions which can be asked for DevOps interview. So yeah, let's go. First question is SSL termination. So SSL termination is process of decrypting the encrypted traffic before passing it along to a web server. Difference between HTTP and HTTPS. So the major difference is that HTTPS S means security. So hypertext transfer protocol. So HTTPS is more secure than HTTP. In HTTP, the data is sent in a plain text and there is a port number difference. In HTTP, port number is 80 and HTTPS port number is 443. So what is TCP and UDP difference? So TCP both are data transmission protocols, but when the data is transmitted using TCP, then a connection is established and data is transmitted safely and securely in TCP, while in UDP connection is not established, so it is not that much secure and reliable. Then what is OSI model? You should know that what layer perform which like what is the use of each layer, so that you should know. You can make a what you call a formula or something kind like of that, so that you can remember what is first. Like first is application layer, then presentation layer, then session layer, then transport layer, then network layer, then data link layer, then physical layer. So physical link layer is the innermost layer. So what is subnetting and CIDR range? So subnetting is basically dividing the large number of networks into small networks. So basically when we have when there can be private subnets, there can be public subnets. So in this way we can configure our resources by placing them into these kind of subnets. And CIDR range means method of assigning IP address. So basically when we assign to these subnets the IP address, like private subnets will have the IP address with this much range, and CI, so classless interdomain range. So in this way we can use subnetting and CIDR. um, so NAT is network address translation. So when multiple devices share a single public IP address, that is called NAT. So encryptions that are used. So encryption at rest, encryption in transit when our data is being transmitted. So how we use symmetric key, asymmetric key. Okay, in symmetric key we have only one key, while asymmetric key we have two keys. So this way we can tell. What is the difference between IPv4 and IPv6? So IPv4 is 32-bit address, while IPv6 is a 128-bit address. So basically when 192.30.0.8, so this is IPv4. We have four groups. In this way, this if you want that I should explain this IPv4, how the IP addresses are assigned, please comment down. Then what is default VPC? So when we don't create a VPC, then also there is a VPC created, it's called default. So whenever we are creating an instance, the default VPC is like it is created inside a default VPC. So difference between private, public and elastic IP address. So private is a private network that we cannot connect from everywhere. We cannot connect to that IP address from everywhere. Public is the that we can connect to that IP address from anywhere. Elastic IP address, when because this public IP address keeps on changing once we shut down or once we uh, stop the VM. So if we want the public static IP address, then we create an elastic IP address, and it is chargeable. So is there any limit to number of VPC, subnet, VPN that I can create? So yeah, per region there is some limits, like VPC per region 5, subnets 200, site to site VPN 50. So yeah, in this way. What type of software and tools do you use to manage the network infrastructure? Basically, Nangios is used for managing the network or for monitoring the network. So, yeah, how do you manage network security concern, ensure compliance requirements are met? Like patching the systems, like the instance, and firewalls, encryption, security audits. So, we have to do all this. And what is Route 53 and AWS Direct Connect? So Route 53 is basically the assigning of our DNS and how it is there is a classification done, managing it, all the DNS that are assigned. And AWS Direct Connect is how the on-prem servers are connected to AWS services using a private connection is built. So for that, AWS Direct Connect is used. And what is VPN tunneling and VPC pairing? So tunneling is basically, there are two types. Most common is remote access VPN, site to site VPN, and VPC pairing is when two VPCs want to communicate, then we have to pair the connection between both the VPC by establishing a trust, or by mentioning the IP addresses for like the range of that IP addresses of both the VPCs. That's all for networking questions that may be asked during the DevOps interview. So we'll bring more videos related to these. So yeah, that's all. Bye.